Hare Krishna. Welcoming all of our YouTube live listeners and our Facebook live listeners. Welcome to all of you to this session 54 of Sri Bhagavatamrita, where today we are starting a very special canto, the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Nama Pankajanabhaya Nama Pankajamaline Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangraye Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Aradhya Bhagavan Vrajesh Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Vakalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam Prema Pumartho Mahan Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur Matamidam Tatra Dharana Paraha Om Agyanatimirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Vilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanatha Swami Niti Namine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Niti Namine Nama Acharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaurakatha Dhamadaya Nagara Grama Tarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukham karoti vachalam pangur langayate girim yat kripatamaham vande Shri Gurung Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna. Again, welcoming all of our YouTube live listeners and our listeners over Facebook Live. Before proceeding on to today's session, we would like to congratulate the devotees who participated in the quiz session from session 53. So from Facebook, we would like to congratulate Shweta Suryanarayanan Mataji, And from YouTube, we'd like to congratulate Hari Krishna Maddali and Shweta Mataji. Congratulations for participating, and thank you so much for your enthusiastic participation in the quiz session. So today, we will be starting on the most auspicious, the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is entitled as the Summum Bonum. This entire 10th canto. It has 90 chapters in this entire 10th canto. It is divided over 4 volumes. And Srila Prabhupada, he was able to give his deep, devotional, very, very enlightening, heart-touching purports, Bhaktivedanta purports, only till chapter 13 of this 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srila Prabhupada, he writes in the preface of volume 1, which has the first 13 chapters, that this 10th canto is distinct from the first 9 cantos because it deals directly with the transcendental activities of the personality of Godhead Sri Krishna. And in the first 12 pages of the first volume of the 10th canto, Srila Prabhupada has given a very beautiful summary, of all the 90 chapters which are there in this 10th canto, which is so heart-touching to read. He doesn't do this in every other canto. He just does this in this 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam as if inspired that, he is not going to probably be able to complete this entire work. But however, Srila Prabhupada has given a summary of the entire 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam in the form of his book, Kṛṣṇa, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But in this 10th canto, out of these 90 chapters, Srila Prabhupada was able to give purports to only the first 13 chapters. And then the later on chapters and the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam and the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the purports have been given by the disciples, the glorious disciples of Srila Prabhupada. So this 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is actually compared in the personality of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is compared to the personality of Sri Krishna. This 10th canto is actually compared to the beautiful, fully blossomed lotus face of Sri Krishna. It is not just a lotus face of Krishna. Like Krishna's face is not just compared to a lotus flower, but it is compared to a fully blossomed lotus flower, which is completely blossomed. It's completely opened up. So that means the smile of Krishna, the glance of Krishna, the beautiful attributes of Krishna's lotus face, everything is there in this beautiful Shri Mukharavinda Prafullam, which means that it is the beautiful, fully blossomed lotus face of Shri Krishna. So this chapter 1, we will now come to chapter 1 by taking the blessings of Srila Prabhupada. We come to chapter 1 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, entitled the Summum Bonum. This chapter 1 is entitled The Advent of Lord Krishna, Introduction. So Srila Prabhupada, he gives an introduction to this particular chapter. He says that Krishna has threefold pastimes, which will be revealed in the form of these 90 chapters. It is said that the Vraja Leela, the threefold pastimes are the Vraja Leela, the Mathura Leela, and the Dwarka Leela. So in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there are 90 chapters which describe all of these Leelas. The first 4 chapters describe Brahma's prayers and the Devata's prayers for the relief of the earth's burden. And they also describe about the appearance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So like this, there are different, each and every summary of each and every chapter is given here. And Srila Prabhupada continues to say, in a brief summary, Srila Prabhupada is saying that chapters 5 through 39 of this 90 chapters, they talk about Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan. Chapters 5 through 39. Then the 40th chapter describes how Krishna enjoyed in the waters of the Jamuna and how Akrura offered his prayers. That means that is the time that Krishna is coming out of Vrindavan and entering Mathura. Then chapters 41 through 51, 11 chapters tell of Krishna's pastimes in Mathura, and chapters 52 through 90, these 39 chapters, they relate to Krishna's Dwarka pastimes. So chapters 29, Srila Prabhupada is giving another special insight, a tidbit. That is that chapters 29 through 33 describes Krishna's dancing with the gopis, known as the Rasa Leela. Therefore, these 5 chapters are known as Rasa Panchadhaya, that these are the most confidential of all knowledge. So therefore, they're supposed, Srila Prabhupada is giving us a little tip, a little heads up, a little warning that when we approach these 5 chapters, these 5 precious chapters of this canto, the 10th canto, we must be very, 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 very conscious. And we must be able to accept it. Our prayer to Srila Prabhupada is that we must be able to accept it and understand it in the proper light, in the proper way that it is supposed to be understood. The 47th chapter of the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam is a description known as the Brahmara Geet. So there are many Geetas in this particular canto. There is the song of the flute, the Venu Geet. There's the song of the gopis, the Gopi Geet. And there's the song of this Brahmara, the bumblebee, which is called as the Brahmara Geet. So please stay tuned to this very, very enlightening 10th canto, the summum bonum of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Shri Krishna Mukharavinda Prafullam. It is the fully blossomed lotus face of Shri Krishna, this 10th canto. So this first chapter, it has 69 verses describing Maharaj Parikshit's eagerness to learn about the incarnation of Lord Shri Krishna. And it also tells how Kaṁsa killed the 6 sons of Devaki because of his fear of being killed by her 8th child. So this is what is there in this first chapter. So we saw that in the previous 9th canto, the last chapter, the 24th chapter, Shukadev Goswami gave a little insight into like a little sneak peek, like a trailer before the blockbuster movie. A little trailer was shown about Krishna and his pastimes. So now comes the actual movie. So text 1, King Parikshit said, "My dear Lord, you have elaborately described the dynasties of both the moon god and the sun god with the exalted and wonderful character of their kings." So if we remember in the 9th canto, starting from Ikshvaku, which is the sun line, and starting from Soma, which is the moon line, they are all coming down like this way, the sun dynasty and the moon dynasty. So Srila Prabhupada describes in the purport that the Yadu dynasty belonged to the family descending from Soma, the moon god. Although the planetary systems are so arranged that the sun comes first before the moon, Parikshit Maharaj gave more respect to the dynasty of the moon god, the Soma Vamsa, because in the Yadava dynasty descending from the moon, Krishna appeared. And therefore, very rightfully, we call him Krishna Chandra Bhagavan. There are 2 different Kshatriya families, Prabhupada explains, of the royal order, one descending from the king of the moon planet and the other descending from the king of the sun. When the Supreme Lord appeared as Lord Ramachandra, he appeared in the Surya Vamsa, the family descending from the sun god. And when he appeared as Lord Krishna, he did so in the Yadu dynasty or the Yadu Vamsa, which descended from the moon god. So we must know these differences. So text 12 says, Parikshit Maharaj is continuing to inquire that, "Oh great sage, you know everything about Krishna. Please describe in detail all the activities of which I have inquired and also of which I have not inquired. for I have full faith and I'm very eager to listen to them. You see, this is a very important trait when we want to hear Srimad Bhagavatam, that we have to be eager to listen. Text 13. Look at the eagerness. Let's see the eagerness of Parikshit Maharaj. So Parikshit Maharaj is saying in text 13 that because of my vow on the verge of death, I have given up even drinking water. Yet, because I am drinking the nectar of topics about Krishna, which is flowing from the lotus mouth of your lordship, my hunger and thirst, which are extremely difficult to bear, cannot hinder me. So being very pleased with this humble plea of sincerity, of eagerness by Parikshit Maharaj, Srila Shukadev Goswami responded in text 15, O your majesty, best of all saintly kings, because you are greatly attracted to topics of Vasudeva, it is certainly that your intelligence is firmly fixed in spiritual understanding, which is the true goal of humanity. Because that attraction is unceasing, it is certainly sublime. So then Shukadev Goswami starts the narration. Srila Shukadev Goswami says in text 17, he continues the story now, starts the story, that once when Mother Earth was overburdened by hundreds of thousands of military phalanxes of various conceited demons, dressed like kings, she approached Lord Brahma for relief. And Mother Earth, she assumed the form of a cow. Very much distressed, with tears in her eyes, she appeared before Lord Brahma and told him about her misfortune. And when Lord Brahma heard from, such a distressful, sight of Mother Earth, Lord Brahma, along with Mother Earth, Lord Shiva, and all the other demigods, they approached the shore of the ocean of milk. Text 19 says this. Text 20 says, after reaching the shore of the ocean of milk, the demigods worshipped the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Vishnu, the master of the entire universe, the supreme God of all gods, who provides for everyone and diminishes everyone's suffering. And with great attention, they worship Lord Vishnu, who lies on the ocean of milk, by reciting the Vedic mantras known as the Purusha Shukta. So these Purusha Shukta prayers are very, very pleasing to Lord Vishnu, to Krishna. When these mantras are chanted in the proper meter, it is very, very, very dear to Sri Krishna. Text 23 says, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who has full potency, will personally appear. This was actually revealed by Lord Vishnu to Lord Brahma. It is explained that how in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, the first verse, we speak about how Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Kavaye, that Lord Brahma was instructed the knowledge was revealed in the heart. So Krishna would always have a heart-to-heart, dialogue with Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma was revealed the Lord's plan in his heart, and Lord Brahma spoke the plan of the Lord to all the devatas, and he said that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, who is full with all opulences, will personally appear as the son of Vasudeva. Therefore, all the wives of the demigods should also appear in order to satisfy him. And all the devatas should also take birth in the planet Earth. Text 24, the foremost manifestation of Krishna is Sankarshan, who is known as Ananta. He is the origin of all incarnations within this material world. And previous to this appearance of Lord Krishna, this original Sankarshan will appear as Baladev, just to please the Supreme Lord Krishna in his transcendental pastimes. So Lord Brahma revealed even this. And there's a very specific reason why this time Lord Balaram wanted to go before Krishna. Because, when Krishna's time for descent was coming, Lord Balaram approached Krishna and said, look, Kanha, this time I'm not going as your younger brother. Then Krishna said, why? What happened, Baladev? Why will you not come as my younger brother? And then Balaram said, look, if I had the opportunity to be your elder brother when you went as Lord Ram and I was Lakshmana, If I would have been your elder brother, I would not have let you go into the forest. I would not have allowed you to do that. You are, you were, because I was your younger brother, I cannot even command you. I just could, request you. And you were just not listening to me. You told me, no, 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 this is not the time to show your Purushartha. This is just to accept the will of Providence. And you forbade me to take up any weapons and to, stop you from going into the forest. That I cannot see. How much of difficulty you went through. How much of difficulty my mother, Goddess Lakshmi, Sita Devi, went through in the forest. I cannot tolerate all that. So this time, you let me go as your elder brother. Now then I will control you. Then I can chastise you. I can listen, make you listen to me. So Krishna said, okay, thou, you go before me. And Krishna was thinking in his mind, yeah, you go. Whether you come as elder brother, whether you come as younger brother, doesn't matter. I'll do what I want to do. And Krishna was smiling in his heart. So, but he wanted to fulfill the desire of Balaram, because Balaram, he has a very nice protective attitude towards Krishna, Vatsalya ras towards Krishna. And Lord Balaram is so perfect that Lord Balaram actually serves Krishna in all the rasas. All the rasas, Lord Balaram serves Krishna. So in this way, Lord Balaram's desire for coming before Krishna as Krishna's elder brother was fulfilled by Krishna. So then it continues to say that text 27 says, formerly Shurasen, the chief of the Yadu dynasty, had gone to live in the city of Mathura. There he enjoyed the places known as Mathura and Shurasena. That was also another city. Text 28, since that time, the city of Mathura had been the capital of all the kings of the Yadu dynasty. The city and the district of Mathura are very intimately connected with Krishna, for Lord Krishna lives there eternally. So Krishna stays in Mathura, in Vrindavan, eternally. So text 29 says, some time ago, Shukadev Goswami is narrating that some time ago, Vasudev married Devaki. Now we can understand some time ago it refers in relation to, in context to Maharaj Parikshit, that he's talking to Maharaj Parikshit in the present tense. So Vasudeva and Devaki just got married a few years ago. So that's why Shukadev Goswami is saying, some time ago, Vasudev married Devaki. And after the marriage, he mounted his chariot to return home with his newly married wife. Text 30. Kaṁsa, the son of Ugrasena, in order to please his sister Devaki, on the occasion of her marriage, took charge of the reins of the horses and became the chariot driver. He was surrounded by hundreds of golden chariots. So just out of affection, Kaṁsa volunteered to be the chariot driver. For so much affection he had for his sister Devaki. So text 34 says, while Kaṁsa, controlling the reins of the horses, was driving the chariot along the way, an embodied voice addressed him. You foolish rascal! The 8th child of the woman you are carrying will kill you. This was the Akashvani. And listening to this, Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that Kaṁsa actually was very, very affectionate towards his sister. And therefore he became, he volunteered to become the chariot driver. But the demigods, they actually did not want Kaṁsa to be affectionate towards Devaki. Because they knew that, now if Kaṁsa becomes nice person, how will Krishna come soon? That was their tension. That was their anxiety. So in order to make Kaṁsa more cruel towards his sister, the demigods kind of arranged this. So they encouraged Kaṁsa to offend her, Srila Prabhupada says. So moreover, Srila Prabhupada also says that the 6 sons of Marichi had been cursed to take birth from the womb of Devaki. And upon being killed by Kaṁsa, they would be delivered. So it is said that Maharishi Marichi and Urna Devi, they had 6 demigod-like sons. The story goes that once Lord Brahma was actually lusting after his own daughter, Saraswati, and trying to just appease her for some reason. And these six boys, the sons of Marichi, they happened to witness this scene, and they were very impudent, and they laughed at Lord Brahma, seeing the foolish behavior of Lord Brahma. And unfortunately for them, Lord Brahma noticed it, and he was very, very angered, and he cursed them to be born as Daityas, to be born as Asuras in their next lifetime. So by virtue of this curse, they were born as the sons of Kalanemi and grandsons of Hiranya. Kalanemi was the son of Hiranyakashipu, one of the son of Hiranyakashipu. So Kalanemi's sons, the sons of Marichi, were born as Kalanemi's sons, and they became the grandsons of Hiranyakashipu in their next birth. So it is said that this Kalanemi, he had received these 6 sons of Marichi as his own sons, and they were known as the Shad Garbhas, or the 6 Garbhas. And they were all equally powerful and very expert in military affairs. Now, this question was asked last time about Kalanemi, what was the reason why Kaṁsa killed, all of the 6 sons of Devaki? So here is the answer. So they were known as the Shad Garbhas, and these Shad Garbhas, it is said that they gave up the association of Hiranyakashipu, their grandfather, and they underwent great austerities to satisfy Lord Brahma, who, when being satisfied, agreed to give these 6 boys whatever they wanted. So when asked by Lord Brahma that what do you want, the Shadgarbhas, they replied that, my dear Lord Brahma, if you want to give us a benediction, give us the blessing that we will not be killed by any demigod, nor by any Maharoga, means, by any disease, by any yakshas, by Gandharvapatis, by Siddhas, by Charanas, or by any human beings, nor by great sages who are perfect in their penances and austerities. So this was their condition. So Brahma understood their purpose, and Brahma said, okay, tathastu. But when Hiranyakashipu came to know of these events, he was very angry at his grandsons, and he said, you have given up my association and you went to worship Lord Brahma. I take that as a personal challenge upon me, because I did the same thing. So you all should not have transgressed that authority. You all should have come to me. But rather than that, you challenged me by going to Lord Brahma. And I'm not happy because of that. So, because, I do not have any more affection for you 6 boys. So, therefore, I curse you that your father will take birth as Kaṁsa and will kill all of you, because when you will take birth as the sons of Devaki in your next life. So because of this curse, the grandsons of Hiranyakashipu had to take birth from the womb of Devaki and be killed by Kaṁsa, who was Kalanemi in his previous birth. He was their father. So Srila Prabhupada says that this description is mentioned in the Harivamsha, in the Vishnu Parva, in the 2nd chapter. This particular description about Kalanemi and the sons of Marichi, originally how they offended Lord Brahma, then they became the sons of Kalanemi, and then they got cursed by their grandfather Hiranyakashipu to be born as the sons of Devaki, to be killed by Kaṁsa himself. So this is the story of how Kaṁsa killed his own sons who were from previous life. So text 35, Kaṁsa, Shukadev Goswami is continuing, that Kaṁsa was a condemned personality in the Bhoja dynasty because he was very envious and sinful. And therefore, upon hearing this omen from the sky, he caught hold of his sister's hair with his left hand and took up his sword with his right hand to sever her head from her body. And wanting to pacify Kaṁsa, text 36 says, who was so cruel and envious, the great soul Vasudev, the newly wedded husband, he spoke the following words to Kaṁsa, and he said to Kaṁsa that, my dear Kaṁsa, this is not befitting you. You are killing not only a woman but a newly wedded, bride. She's a newly married wife, bride, and she is your sister. How can you kill such a personality? Please do not kill her. And Vasudev, he stressed that it would not be good for Kamsa to kill his younger sister, especially because she was just married. How can he do such a thing? So then he actually contemplated that the only way that he can save Devaki, his newly wedded wife, and also at the same time pacify Kamsa for the time being, is by giving a promise. And that promise was that he said that whatever, the Akashvani said that my eighth son is going to come and kill you. So I promise you, my dear Kamsa, that I will bring all my sons to you, and you can do whatever you want with them. So then Vasudev, Kamsa was relieved by that, because he knew that Vasudev was very truthful and that he would not break his promise. So, the Vasudev and Devaki went back to their palace, and then in due course of time, they had their first son. Text 57 says they had their first son, and Vasudev named their first son Kirtiman. This was the first son. And although unwillingly, Vasudev brought his newly born child to Kamsa. And it is said that when Kamsa saw Vasudev so faithfully, with integrity, he stuck to his promise, Kamsa's heart melted. And Kamsa said, my dear Vasudev, in text 60, he says, you may take back your child and you go home. I have no fear from your first child. It is the eighth child that I fear. So the Devatas again got very disturbed that how could Kamsa become so merciful? So then immediately Narad Muni approached. And he approached Kamsa, and Kamsa welcomed Narad Muni, and Narad Muni presented to Kamsa an 8-petaled lotus flower. And Narad Muni asked one question to Kamsa, said that, my dear Kamsa, can you tell me which is the first petal and which is the last petal? So Kamsa immediately, he could understand, in 65 and 66, it is explained that Kamsa thought that all the members of the Yadu dynasty are, great demigods. They are very powerful people. So fearing his death, Kamsa arrested Vasudeva and Devaki, and he chained them with iron shackles, and suspecting each of the children to be Vishnu, Kamsa killed them one after the other because of the prophecy that Vishnu would kill Kamsa. So Srila Prabhupada says that this particular thing is also described in Harivamsa, that Narad Muni went to see Kamsa by providence, by the will of providence. And when, the reason why Narad Muni went there is so that Kamsa's, pot of sin should get filled up, so that Krishna's coming can be accelerated. Krishna is coming to kill Kamsa, but his coming can get accelerated if Kamsa, his pot of sins, can rise up. So that's why Narad Muni came and accelerated the process of Krishna's appearance. So this brings us to the end of the first chapter. Second chapter is prayers by the demigods for Lord Krishna in the womb. So this second chapter describes the entrance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna into the womb of Devaki to fulfill his mission of killing Kamsa. And when Lord Krishna was within Devaki's womb, all the Devatas headed by Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, offered their prayers to Krishna. So it is said the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, he spoke to Yogamaya as follows in text 8, that he said that within the womb of Devaki is my partial plenary expansion known as Sankarshan or Shesha. So without difficulty, transfer him into the womb of Rohini. So this was done by Yogamaya by the order of Krishna that the seventh womb of Devaki Mata was taken from the womb, Sankarshan was taken from the womb of Devaki and placed in the womb of Rohini Mata, who is the original mother of Lord Balaram. So that is why, by the divine arrangement of Yoga Maya, under the supervision of Sri Krishna, this particular act went about. And then Krishna says that, "Oh, my dear Yoga Maya, then I shall appear with my 6 opulences as the son of Devaki, and you will appear as the daughter of Mother Jashoda, who is the queen of Maharaj Nanda." So then text 16 says, "The Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the super soul of all living entities, who vanquishes all the fear of his devotees, entered the mind of Vasudeva. And then from there he entered the heart of Vasudeva. And from the heart of Vasudeva, he was transferred into the heart of Devaki. And from the heart of Devaki, the Lord was transferred into the womb of Devaki." So Srila Prabhupada says, he quotes this verse, "Janma karma chame divyam, evam yo veti tatvataha, tyaktva deham punarjanma, neti mameti so Arjuna." One who knows my transcendental appearance and disappearance will not take birth again in this material world. One who knows the actual nature, that Krishna doesn't appear through mundane process. His appearance is divine. It is transcendental. It is like the process of initiation, Srila Prabhupada says, which is a heart-to-heart connection. So the husband is the guru of the wife, the Shiksha guru for the wife. So that way, Vasudev, he transferred Krishna, who was in his heart, he transferred Krishna to Mother Devaki, thus initiating her in this process, it is said. So then in text 24, a very, very important point is being told, that while sitting on the throne, Kaṁsa, or when he was sitting in his room, while lying in his bed, or while situated anywhere, and while eating, sleeping, or walking, Kaṁsa saw only one enemy, and he was only thinking of Krishna, Rishikesh. In other words, by thinking of his all-pervading enemy, Kaṁsa became unfavorably Krishna conscious. So Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport that Srila Rupa Goswami has described the finest pattern of devotional service as anukulyena Krishnanushilanam, means cultivating Krishna consciousness favorably. But Kaṁsa was also Krishna conscious. He was more Krishna conscious practically maybe than any of us today, at least me. So he was very, very Krishna conscious, but he was negatively thinking about Krishna. He was unfavorably thinking about Krishna. Oh, Krishna is going to come and kill me. Oh, this, Krishna, he's coming as my death. He's coming as my death. So he was unfavorably, thinking about Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada says that a person who does not, who thinks about Krishna favorably, they are on the platform of Kaivalya Sukham. And those who always unfavorably think of Krishna, they are Kaivalya Narakayate, means they always are in great misery. So that's how Srila Prabhupada says this very beautiful point, that how Krishna was being remembered by Kaṁsa, but in an unfavorable way. So that is not the way that we should try to remember Krishna. So text 25 says, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, accompanied by the great sages like Narada, Devala, Vyasa, and other demigods like Indra, Chandra, Varuna, all invisibly approached Mother Devaki. And they joined in offering their respectful obeisances and prayers to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So from text 26 to text 42, all the Devatas, they offered beautiful, heart-touching prayers to Krishna in the womb of Mother Devaki. Text 31 says one very beautiful prayer, it is said, that, O Lord, who resemble the shining sun, you are always ready to fulfill the desire of your devotee, and therefore you are known as a desire tree, Vancha Kalpataru. Vansha means that desire. And Kalpataru means, whatever you desire, that desire you fulfill. When acharyas completely take shelter under your lotus feet in order to cross the fierce ocean of nations, they leave behind on earth the method by which they cross. And because you are very merciful to your devotees, you accept this method to help them. So how beautifully the demigods are glorifying. Many times we feel that, oh, who has seen, who has gone and perfected, this spiritual life? How can we be guaranteed that if we do this, we will actually go back home, back to Godhead? Here is our answer. That the perfected acharyas, they have perfected their way of going back home, back to Godhead, and they have left behind the method by which they perfected their life. So if we simply follow that method, we will also reach the same destination. That is what the devatas are saying. So like this, the devatas are glorifying Mother Devaki, the good fortune of Mother Devaki. Text 41 is saying, "O Mother Devaki, by your good fortune and ours, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with all his plenary portions such as Baladev, is now within your womb. Therefore, you need not fear Kaṁsa, who has decided to be killed by the Lord. Your eternal son, Krishna, will be the protector of the entire Yadu dynasty." So like this, the devatas offered their prayers and they returned back to their heavenly planet. So this concludes chapter 2. Chapter 3 is the birth of Lord Krishna. That is the title. So this chapter, it contains 53 verses. Srila Prabhupada says, and this chapter describes the appearance of Krishna as he is. So the Lord's father and mother, understanding the Lord's appearance, offered prayers, and fearing Kaṁsa, the Lord's father brought the child from Mathura to Gokul Vrindavan. So text 1 to 5, all 5 verses in one shot. Shukadev Goswami is saying that thereafter, at the auspicious time of the appearance of the Lord, the entire universe was surcharged with all the qualities of goodness, beauty, and peace. The constellation of Rohini Nakshatra appeared, as did stars like Ashwini. The sun, the moon, and the other stars and the planets were very peaceful. All directions appeared extremely pleasing, and the beautiful stars twinkled in the cloudless sky. Decorated with towns, villages, mines, and pasturing grounds, the earth seemed all auspicious. The rivers flowed with clear water, and the lakes and vast reservoirs full of lilies and lotuses were extraordinarily beautiful. So thus, when the Supreme Lord Vishnu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was about to appear, the saints and the Brahmanas, who had always been disturbed by demons like Kaṁsa, felt peace within the core of their hearts. And kettle drums simultaneously vibrated from the upper planetary system. Everyone was, auspicious sounds were getting vibrated. And then the Supreme Personality of Godhead, at midnight, he appeared. It is explained in text 9 and 10 that when when the Supreme Lord manifested, he manifested in his four-armed form as Lord Vishnu. So when Vasudev, he saw this beautiful personality, in his 4 hands, the 4 weapons, holding the 4 weapons, the Shankha, Chakra, Gada, Padma. There was the mark of Shrivatsa, and he had the Kaustubha Mani on his neck. He was dressed in beautiful yellow garments, and his color was the complexion of a dense, dark cloud. He had scattered hair, and he was wearing a beautiful helmet, a crown, earrings. And Vasudev was completely astounded by seeing the beauty of this beautiful personality. Text 12 says, O Maharaj Parikshit, descendant of King Bharat, Vasudev could understand that this child is the Supreme Personality of Godhead Narayan. And having concluded this without a doubt, he became completely fearless. And bowing down with folded hands and concentrating his attention, he began to offer prayers to the personality who illuminated the entire prison house. So from text 13 to 22, Vasudev offers beautiful prayers to Krishna. Text 22 says, "O my Lord, Lord of the demigods, after hearing the prophecy that you would take birth in our home and kill Kaṁsa, this uncivilized Kaṁsa killed so many of your elder brothers. As soon as he hears from his lieutenants that you have come, he will immediately come and, with weapons to kill you." So this was the conclusion of the prayers of Vasudeva. As a concerned father, he concluded these in his prayers. Then from text 24 to 31, Devaki offers heart-touching prayers to, her child, her newly born child. And where Devaki is pleading the Supreme Lord that, how am I going to hide you? You are my eighth child and you are appearing in this majestic form. How am I supposed to hide you from Kaṁsa? Out of her motherly affection, she requested the Supreme Lord to please, come as a human child so that I can hide you from Kaṁsa. So very lovingly, she says, "Oh Madhusudana," in text 29, "because of your appearance, I'm becoming more and more anxious in fear of Kaṁsa. Please arrange for that sinful Kaṁsa to be unable to understand that you have taken birth from my womb." So then the Lord began speaking very lovingly to his parents, and the Lord reminded Vasudeva and Devaki of their two previous incarnations in which he had appeared as their son. He had appeared as Prishnigarbha and as Vamanadeva. And now this was the third time that he was appearing as the son of Mother Devaki to fulfill their desire. So therefore, it is explained in text 47, thereafter, exactly when Vasudeva, being inspired by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was about to take the newborn child from the delivery room, Yoga Maya, the Lord's spiritual energy, took birth at the same time as the daughter of the wife of Maharaj Nanda. So when Lord Vishnu, transformed as the original form of Krishna in the form of the baby, as two-handed form of, baby Krishna, at the same time, Yoga Maya manifested in the home of Nanda Baba as the daughter of Jashoda Maya. In the purport to this text 47, Srila Prabhupada writes that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he discusses that Krishna appeared simultaneously as the son of Devaki and as the son of Jashoda. So Jashoda actually gave birth to Krishna and to Jogamaya. So two babies came from Mother Jashoda. One is Krishna and one is Yogamaya. So this is explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and this Srila Prabhupada is quoting in this particular verse of text 47 from the Harivamsha of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The way it is explained is that when Vasudev brings, Mathura Krishna, Vasudev Krishna rather, he comes as Vasudev Krishna. So Vasudev's son is Vasudeva, and the Krishna that appeared in Gokul as the son of Mother Jashoda, he is known as Vrajendra Nandana Shri Krishna. So Vrajendra Nandana Shri Krishna and Vasudev Krishna, they actually, it is said that when they appeared, when Vasudev brought his child, Vasudev Krishna, both Vrindavanendra Krishna and Vasudev Krishna, they actually became one. They joined together, and Vasudev could not make the difference. He just left his child, who was Vasudev Krishna, and he took Yogamaya with him. And this separation again happened when Akrura came to take Krishna and Balaram to Mathura. So when he was taking bath in the Jamuna, when Akrura dipped in the waters of the Jamuna, it is said that Vrindavanendra Shri Krishna stayed back in Vrindavan, and Vasudev Krishna went with Akrura to Mathura. Because it is said that Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. Vrindavanendra Shri Krishna never leaves Vrindavan. And Vrindavanendra Krishna, he actually does not do any other act other than playing his flute. So even in Vrindavan, when it was time for Krishna to kill any demons, it would be Vasudev Krishna who would come and kill all the demons. And Vrindavanendra Krishna would just sit and enjoy and relax and play his flute. That's all he would do. So this is all explained by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and we should know this as a reality, that Mother Jashoda, she did give, Krishna appeared from her along with Yogamaya. So Yashoda Maya had twin babies, one boy and one girl. So it is said that by the influence of Yogamaya, text 48 and 49 says, all the doorkeepers fell fast asleep and their senses unable to work. All the inhabitants of the house also fell very sleepy. And then Vasudev, he just went out, and as soon as he stepped out from the prison house, there was torrential rains that were pouring. And at that time, it is said that Ananta Naga, an expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, followed Vasudev, beginning from the door with hoods expanded to protect Vasudeva and Vasudev the father. So, this is Ananta Shesh, who always comes as the protector of the Supreme Lord. So text 50 says, because of constant rain sent by demigod Indra, the river Jamuna was filled with deep water, foaming about with fiercely whirling waves. But as the great ocean had formerly given way to Lord Ramachandra, the river Jamuna also gave way to Vasudev and allowed him to cross. So he had to cross the Jamuna to go into Gokul Vrindavan. So text 50 says, Jamuna gave him way to cross. And it is explained here. There are two explanations actually. In one point, it is said that Krishna actually fell off from the basket, that Vasudev was carrying. Krishna fell off at one point because Jamuna, she desired to touch the lotus feet of Krishna. So to, fulfill the desire of Jamuna, it is said that Krishna fell off from the basket. This is there in the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is described. And also in another place, Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Harivamsha, he says that at one point, the waves of the Jamuna just got, she got too much excited, too much in ecstasy, and she almost was drowning Vasudev. And then by that way, she just came and touched Krishna, who was on the head of Vasudev. She almost drowned Vasudev so she could touch Vasudev, Krishna's lotus feet. So these are the two ways that is described that Jamuna touched the lotus feet of Krishna. And it is explained in text 51 that when Vasudev reached the house of Nanda Baba, he saw that everyone was asleep. So thus he placed his own son on the bed of Jashoda and picked a daughter and then returned back to the prison of Kaṁsa. So text 52 says, Vasudev placed the female child on the bed of Devaki, bound his legs with the iron shackles again, and thus remained there as before. So this concludes chapter 3, brings us to chapter 4, the atrocities of King Kaṁsa. So this chapter tells us that how there is the prophecy of the goddess Chandika, and how after Kaṁsa consulting with his demoniac friends, he went into a killing spree, Srila Prabhupada explains. So Shukadev Goswami says that, my dear King Parikshit, the doors inside and outside of the prison house closed as before, and when especially the watchmen, hearing the crying of the newborn baby girl, they awakened from their beds. And then they all went and, told Kaṁsa, oh, the child is born, the child is born. And Kaṁsa, who was awaiting this news, he just got up, and with all, he just got up in the middle of the night. So he had his hair all curled up and everything. And in that state, he just came running to take action, it is said. And Devaki, in text 4 and 5, she starts pleading. When she sees Kaṁsa coming into the prison house, she piteously pleads to Kaṁsa that, my dear brother, please don't kill this girl. She's a beautiful baby girl. How can she be your death? She caused death to you. Please give this child to me as your gift. Please allow her to live. So like this, she was clinging on to the baby and saying, please don't take this baby from me. Then Shukadev Goswami in text 7 continues that piteously embracing her daughter and crying, Devaki begged Kamsa for the child, but he was so cruel that he chastised her and forcibly snatched the child from her hands. So cruel Kamsa was. Text 8. Having uprooted all relationships with his sister because of intense selfishness, Kamsa, who was sitting on his knees, he grasped the newborn child by the legs and tried to crush her against the surface of a stone. So stone-hearted a person has to be to kill a newborn child in this ghastly way. Text 9 says, the child, Yogamaya Devi, who is the younger sister of Lord Vishnu, slipped upward from Kamsa's hand and appeared in the sky as Devi, the goddess Durga, with 8 arms, completely equipped with weapons. So Srila Prabhupada, in this purport, he says the word Anuja, meaning the younger sister, is very significant here. Srila Prabhupada explains that when Krishna took birth from Devaki, Srila Prabhupada says that what Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, that Jashoda Maya also gave birth to Krishna simultaneously at the same time, because otherwise, how could Yoga Maya have been the Anuja or the Lord's younger sister? So Srila Prabhupada is saying that this is further proof that Jashoda Maya also gave birth to Krishna simultaneously at the same time. Devaki and Jashoda gave birth to Krishna simultaneously. So text 12 says, the goddess Durga is speaking, "O Kamsa, you fool! What will be the use of killing me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is your enemy from the very beginning and who will certainly kill you, has already taken his birth somewhere else. Therefore, do not engage in any more sinful activity." So text 14 says, after hearing these words from the goddess Durga, Kamsa was struck with wonder and he approached his sister and brother-in-law and released them immediately. And he spoke to them very humbly as follows. And he said that, my dear sister, alas, alas, I am indeed so sinful that exactly like a Rakshasa, I have eaten all your children and I have killed so many sons that, belong to you. So then, like text 16, text 19, he is, really repenting. He's really repenting. Kamsa is repenting. Text 19, he says, in this world, we can see that pots, dolls, and other products of earth appear, break, and then disappear, mixing with the earth. Similarly, the bodies of all conditioned living entities are also annihilated, but the living entities, like the earth itself, are unchanging and never annihilated. Na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that although Kamsa is described as a demon, he had good knowledge of the affairs of Atma Tattva, the truth of the self, Prabhupada says. So 5,000 years ago, there were kings like Kamsa, Prabhupada says, who is described as an asura, but he was better. Prabhupada says that Kamsa was better than modern politicians and diplomats who have no knowledge about the self. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that Kamsa was much better than today's politicians. Anyways, so Kamsa really was repenting at this point. So then he says that text 21, he says, my dear sister Devaki, all good fortune unto you. Everyone suffers and enjoys the results of his own good work under the control of providence. Therefore, although your sons have unfortunately been killed by me, please do not lament for them. So it is said, Srila Prabhupada quotes in the purport, he quotes from the Brahma Samhita that everyone beginning from the small insect known as Indra Gopa up to Indra, the king of the heavenly planets, is obliged to undergo the results of their fruitive activities. So this, yes, Twindra Gopa Mathavendra Mahosva Karma. So, they have to undergo their kind of karma. So, Kamsa was saying that I was the instrument, but they also suffered their own, karmas, what they had done. So Srila Prabhupada is saying that Devaki should excuse Kamsa and forget his past deeds without lamentation. And Kamsa admitted, very sincerely admitted his own fault. But whatever he had done under the control of providence. And Kamsa might have been the immediate cause for the death of Devaki's sons, but the remote cause was their past misdeeds. And that was an actual fact, Srila Prabhupada says. So when Devaki, in text 25, when she saw that her brother was really repenting, was actually repentant, she was relieved of all anger. And even Vasudev became free from all anger. And smilingly, they forgive, Kamsa. And Vasudev said in text 26, he said that, "O great personality Kamsa, only by the influence of ignorance does one accept the material body and bodily ego. So persons in the bodily concept of life, lacking self-realization, differentiate in terms of this is mine, this belongs to me, this belongs to another." So Srila Shukadev Goswami goes on to explain that thus having been addressed by the purity, by Devaki and Vasudev, who were very much, consoled by Kamsa. Kamsa was, feeling relieved that, okay, Devaki and Vasudev have forgiven me. And, Devaki and Vasudev were released from the prison. They were taken to the palace. Even Kamsa went back to his palace. Then it is explained that after the night was passed, Kamsa summoned his ministers and told them what was told by Yogamaya Devi, what Durga Devi told. And after hearing this, the envious ministers, the envious asuras, who were enemies of the demigods and were not very expert in their dealings, they advised Kamsa that if this is correct, my dear Kamsa, what you should do beginning today, we will go and kill all the children born in all the villages, the towns, within the past 10 days or slightly more. This was the advice that the crazy ministers gave to Kamsa. So Srila Shukadev Goswami continues in text 43 that thus having considered the instructions of his bad ministers, Kamsa, who was bound by the laws of Yamaraj and devoid of good intelligence, because he was a demon, decided to persecute the saintly persons, the Brahmanas, as the only way to achieve his good fortune. So Srila Prabhupada, in the purport, he actually says that, when we receive good instructions, it is actually great to receive good instructions. Because Prabhupada says that non-devotees will always act whimsically according to their own plans. However, no one has his own plans because they are under the illusion that they have their own plans, because they are actually bound by the laws of material nature. So, there is no way that they can actually do anything out of their own will. So because of this bad association that Kamsa had with his, crazy ministers, he could not take a clear decision about his welfare. And actually in this verse, in this purport, Srila Prabhupada quotes the song of Srila Lochan Das Thakur. And he says, সংসারে মজিয়া রহিলি পড়িয়া সে পদে নাহিল আশা আপন করম ভঞ্জায় সমন কহ এলোচন দাস পরম করুণা বহু দুই জনা নিতাই গৌরচন্দ্র সবয় অবতার সারশিরোমণি কেবল আনন্দ কান্দ. So Srila Prabhupada is saying, apono karma bhunjaya samana, kahe lochana das, that, we bring our own karma with us. Now to be able to elevate and to counteract those karmas, they're up to us based on the kind of association we seek. So if we can go to Parama Karuna, Pahu Duijana Nitai Gaura Chandra, if we can approach the lotus feet of Nitai and Gaura Chandra, then we are saved from these sinful karmas. But if we listen to sinful association, if we have bad association, then our karmas get more and more intense upon us. They act more and more intensely upon us. So Srila Prabhupada concludes this chapter by saying, Shukadev Goswami concludes by saying, my dear king, when a man persecutes great souls, this is a very important verse, text 46. Very, very important. My dear king, when a man persecutes great souls, all his benedictions of longevity, beauty, fame, religion, blessings, and promotion to higher planets will be destroyed. So when one tortures, when one persecutes great souls, then there's nothing left in that particular person. That is the verdict of the Srimad Bhagavatam, this last verse of this 4th chapter. So with this, we end here today. We beg for your forgiveness that this 10th canto, is going to take some time. We beg for your forgiveness that we took so much time to finish this session of 4 chapters. We'll try our level best that we try to keep these sessions shorter. However, but sometimes we'll cover maybe 2 chapters, sometimes we'll cover 4 chapters based on the timing. So please forgive us for that. So today's questions, quiz questions, we have 9 questions for today. Which part of the body does the 10th canto represent of Krishna? Why did Lord Balaram want to appear before Krishna? Third, why did the Devatas not want Kaṁsa to be affectionate to Devaki? Fourth, who was the mother of the 6 sons of Marichi? Fifth, who cursed the 6 sons of Marichi to be born of the womb of Devaki? Sixth, how did Narad Muni warn Kaṁsa about Krishna appearing anytime? Seventh, which nakshatra did Lord Krishna appear in? Eighth, why did Krishna fall off from the basket that Nanda Maharaj was carrying? Ninth, how can Jogamaya be Krishna's Anuja, younger sister, if she appeared from Jashoda and Krishna appeared from Devaki? So these are the, 10th, what is the lesson from these 4 chapters that we learn? So these are the questions of the quiz. We have some questions on YouTube as well. From Keshavi, why is it that demigods were visible to people in previous yuga, but this yuga humans can't see them? Please explain. Well, when this question was asked to Srila Prabhupada, even in terms of Krishna, once on a morning walk, Srila Prabhupada said, Srila Prabhupada was asked by the disciples that, Prabhupada, no one has seen God. How can we say that? And Prabhupada just stopped walking and he said, how can you say that? Have you taken a statistics of everyone who has seen God? It's as if Srila Prabhupada took a personal offense that how can you say that no one has seen God? Srila Prabhupada said, I can, it kind of meant that Srila Prabhupada is seeing God all the time. He sees Krishna all the time. So Devatas were actually, when they came and offered obeisances and prayers to Devaki and Vasudev, it is said that Devaki Vasudev did not see the Devatas at that time. But yes, Devatas were visible to the people in the previous ages. And there are some personalities who have seen Devatas even in this age. There are wonderful personalities like, many of our Guru Vargas, they have seen. Srila Prabhupada has seen Devatas. Srila Prabhupada said Narad Muni has come to listen to Srimad Bhagavatam. Vyasadeva has come to listen to Srimad Bhagavatam. So it takes purity of the eyes. With our mundane eyes, we can't really see. But, as soon as we have, like Brahma Samhita describes, Premanjana Shurita Bhakti Vilochanena Shanta Sadaiva Hridayeshu Vilokayanti Yam Shama Sundaramachintya Gunaswarupam Govindamadi Purusham tamaham bhajami. That when our eyes are anointed with the salve of love for Krishna, then we can always see the beautiful Tribhanga Lalita Madan Mohan form of Krishna manifesting in our heart. So I hope that answers your question, Keshavi. Another question you have, Narada Muni tried to expedite Krishna's arrival. What can we do to expedite next incarnation of the Lord so that demoniac people get killed in Kali Yuga? Well, the timing for the coming of the Kalki avatar is already predicted in the Srimad Bhagavatam, that he is going to appear in a particular village, near Uttar Pradesh, I believe, that he's going to appear. It's there in the 12th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And so that we can't expedite, but we can expedite this 10,000 years of the golden age of this Kali Yuga, where everyone has a chance that we can go back home, back to Godhead, simply by chanting the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. The chanting of the holy names that Krishna himself brought down as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is Golokera Premadhana Harinama Sankirtana that Mahaprabhu himself brought. So this is the 10,000 golden, years. This period is the golden period in Kali Yuga. So this is the time that we must utilize, to expedite this process so that, more and more souls are delivered, and are going back home, back to Godhead. So these questions, it is said that they are from Venkatapati Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. I hope this answers your question. Rajeshwari Mataji, you have a question. Lord Balaram serves all the rasas. How he serves in Madhurya Ras? Yes, I will answer this question because it's very dear to me, although it comes in the later chapters. It is explained that Lord Balaram, he cannot directly be present as Lord Balaram himself in Madhurya Ras because Srimati Radharani gets very conscious. She gets very embarrassed, very shy in front of Lord Balaram. So Lord Balaram expands into Ananga Manjari, it is said. He expands into Ananga Manjari, the younger sister of Srimati Radharani, and assists the divine couple in their Madhurya Ras. It is said that Ananga Manjari, she actually is such a beautiful Manjari who makes all the perfect arrangements for whenever the divine couple want to come to Radha Kund. It is said that Ananga Manjari has her kunja in the middle of Sri Radha Kund. She is eternally serving, as Lord Balaram is eternally serving as Ananga Manjari in the Madhurya Ras. So I hope that answers your question. We have a question on Facebook from Shamala Gopika. Shamala. Now we hear about the appearance of Krishna and we have strong conviction that Krishna's birth is not material. So can we have hope that we will not take birth again, or any more internal meaning or understanding is there? Please kindly help to understand. Yes, as long as we do understand that the janma karma of the Lord are completely divya, they're completely transcendental. As long as we understand that, and therefore have no doubt, have explicit and implicit faith, both kinds of faith, both explicit and implicit faith in the Supreme Personality of Godhead by our action when we show it to the Lord, that we are, having full faith in the Lord, then yes, there is no reason for us to, come back. It'll then Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tatvatah tyaktva deham punarjanma neti mameti. So Arjuna, yes, then that is the guarantee of Krishna. So I hope that answers your question, Shamala. So I think there is no more questions. We can end the session here. We will look forward to all of your association. Tomorrow, Prabhu is going to give a very enlightening session on, very interesting chapters are coming up, the killing of some demons, Putana Trinavarta. And we are also going to see how these demon killings are actually, they're translating into practically how we can, subdue these demons. So please stay tuned and join us for the session tomorrow. Thank you all so much. Have a wonderful, blissful, spiritual day in beautiful Krishna consciousness, remembrance of Krishna. Thank you all so much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ISKCON Vartaman Guru Vrinda ki jai. Janitai Gaur Sitanath Premanande. Hari Hari Bol. Thank you all so much. Hare Krishna.